everybody. Thank you for coming to the February 14th, 2022 Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. My name is Beth Ashbaugh, co-chair. We'll do roll call. Beth Ashbaugh, present. Carolyn Marks,
Present.
Brett Heindel, yeah. Libby Cudmore,
Present.
Trevor Huntsman, no. Councilmember Katie LaFarge-Shu.
I'm here.
City Parks Administrator Lou Lansing. Present. Okay, we've got Greg here. Okay. And all right. So selection of co-chairs for 2022. We were supposed to do that last month, right? Okay. So, oh, yeah, I have chair, so we need to redo the, hi Brett, okay, Brett, and present?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, you're fine. So how do we, what are we supposed to do?
It's typically open it up to
Yeah,
commission
commissioners,
members.
yeah. Does anybody else want to do this job? For the next year? Anybody?
What's involved?
What have we been doing? And minutes, making sure everybody gets agendas and minutes and, work with Lou. I'm pretty terrible at this. So, are you happy to continue?
Would you like to?
I'm happy to continue for one more year doing
I
this.
will also too.
Okay, anybody opposed? In favor?
Can you do me a favor and do it in a motion and a
Oh,
second?
okay.
Thank you.
Can we do that motion? Okay.
How would you like it specifically?
We supposed,
A motion by whoever's making the motion, you'll need someone to second, and then a vote.
I'll second, I'm really good at that.
okay, I'll go ahead and do it. I move for Carolyn Marks and myself, Beth Ashbaugh, to continue as co-chairs for the 2022 year. Second, okay.
Is affirmation okay? As long as everybody votes.
Okay.
Oh, we all have to vote, right?
Any affirmation? Opposed? No?
Oh,
Okay. All right, did we do it right? You got it? Okay. All right, now we have everybody here. Anybody have any questions about the minutes from the last meeting? Everything okay? All set? Okay, who would like to approve the meetings?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last Parks and Recreation Commission meeting.
Okay. Can you second that?
Second.
Brett?
Yep.
All right. Any opposed? No? Okay. Well, I guess. Lou? I guess it's your turn now.
Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, we just kind of like that. I'm cold.
You all set?
All set.
Okay, any questions on the parks report? There's quite a lot on here. Any question, I guess, on the procedures for reserve park facilities? They've changed slightly. Not a lot. Anybody have any questions? I put the rec desk, site in there, community site, in case anybody wanted to go in and peruse, you can. The application fee stays the same, it's non-refundable, attached to every invoice. I do the invoicing. This year I'll send out the invoice with the permit, and then after their event, if it's, say it's a baseball game, and they get rained out of, certain, I always discuss it with them after and adjust the fee if we need to. Okay? Any questions on, this is just a little update, how this town project is moving forward this spring? I don't have a date. When I get one, I'll let you know. There is a dog park study that's going to be done by Professor Donna Vogler from SUNY Oneonta. She's a biology professor there, and one of her students. They're going to be studying Neola's Dog Park this spring for evidence and effects of dog waste left in the area after the snow melt. Should be interesting for us to find out how well community cleaned up after themselves. So
Yeah.
should be interesting.
I assume the park is closed right now, is that correct?
The dog park is not closed.
Okay, well, because it's dog ice skating rink, so I'm just wondering if there's been,
Unless the guys have closed it and not told me, I don't think they've closed the small dog park section.
Yeah.
The large dog park has been closed for a while.
yeah, I haven't seen anybody down there. We were driving by, I'm like, oh, that looks,
I saw
that could be amusing.
I saw people the other day,
yesterday.
so.
Yeah,
Usually if they
Saturday.
close it, they let me know so that I can alert Carrie and put it on Facebook.
Okay.
Going back, asking about Donna's study,
Yeah.
the evidence and effects of the dog waste. Do you have any idea what she plans on doing with this information?
I have, she's going to give us any information from her file.
Okay.
She'll report it to me and I'll of course give it to all of you. What we'll do with it, I don't know.
Do we think overall, I'm sure the parks crew, when they empty the dog waste containers, are they filling up?
Yeah, they're emptying them pretty much every day.
Okay, so that's a good sign, I would think. And they have the bags,
Yeah.
obviously, so hopefully we're going to see little evidence of dog waste.
Yeah.
That'll be
I
fascinating.
mean, there was a couple Fridays that they missed, and I was alerted right away by the community that they were getting full. So I'm guessing it's being used pretty good. I mean, I'm not going over there every day myself, but
Where are all those little blue bags going?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, but like,
That's,
I didn't hear the question.
that's weight, that's,
where, okay, so they empty them every day, where does it go?
Wherever
the
our trash goes, I don't know.
Okay, so just regular
yeah,
municipal.
regular trash, yeah.
Wherever garbage goes, so.
Good.
Oh, this was a sad news thing.
Any other questions on the dog park?
No.
Site? I'll let you know when I hear from Donna, but it's gonna be a while before she starts that study. A bittersweet news coming from the pit run. I think everybody knows by now they retired the event. Sad, but I understand that most of their members are starting to get a lot older. I can relate, so. Do you want me to go on to the petitioner, Bill?
Yeah, okay. This is what, this is,
This Anne, Simon, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. She's a lady who called me a few weeks ago and was interested in having a little free library in one of our parks. I did some reading on Little Free Library, some research, and mostly it's all positive on them. There are a few communities that have a challenge working with the library, so I thought it best to reach out to Tina Winstead at the head librarian, the director. She was all about this, having a little free library, and so I connected her with Anne, and it just so happens that Anne is a member of the Friends of the Huntington Library anyway, so it was a great match, and they talked, and then Tina got back to me and was asking if she could put forward to the commission to have a little free library in one of the parks. I spoke with Chris and John from Public Works. We all agreed that probably the best location for that would be in Wilbur Park. And I'm thinking in or near Applebaum Gardens. That's a quiet kind of place. Anne and her husband Frank are going to maintain it. They're going to build it. They're going to maintain it. We're going to help them to put it in the ground, the installation part. Yeah, Frank is building it, I think it's Frank, yeah, Frank is building it to look like a caboose in honor of, Oleana's train history, which I think was really nice. And as a retired elementary school teacher, I can't think of anybody more fitting to have this sort of thing. So what I need from the commission is any discussion they have on it and a motion to vote to allow this, or yes or no. So,
Okay, well, I guess some obvious questions would be like, what, do we worry about vandalism on this? How does this thing work? Is it just are books just hanging out in the caboose?
Yeah.
It's
Okay, I just
a
have-
book where
yeah, I'm just-
you can go and exchange books, or
Exchange
take a
books.
book, or whatever.
Okay.
Ann's gonna maintain it, she's gonna keep an eye on it so that she makes sure if there is vandalism, she'll let us know.
Gotcha.
Hopefully there won't be.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
There can always be a potential problem in the park, but we're hoping not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think to have someone who can go constantly and keep an eye on it, I think is a good thing.
Yeah, it's nice that she'll hold that.
It'd be nice to put it in proximity to a bench.
I'm sorry?
Or near benches.
Yeah.
Well, there are,
Yeah,
to
so
sit down in
like-
Appleball Gardens, that's why I think it'd be a good place.
Yeah.
A lot of people go there to read.
Yeah.
It's a nice place for that.
It's a quiet place.
There is a little free library, over here on Elm Street near
Oh,
the
yeah.
Lord's Table. Yeah.
Yes, there
I'm not
is.
sure I'm not sure where exactly it is. It might be affiliated with the Lord's Table, it might not, but I remember kind of seeing it over there, and that seems fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that was just the.
When I spoke with Tina about location, she kind of wanted Wilbur Park. I also offered, I said, maybe if we could consider Maple Street Park. It's also quiet in the park.
Yeah.
She preferred to make the request of Wilbur. If you all don't have a problem with that, I think it's a good choice.
So, they would have, she would have a variety of books for all ages, and how, like, for example, if we had books, could we bring them?
I think you probably could. I think she's probably
Okay.
I suspect she's gonna gear a lot of it toward children, but, I'm sure she'll have adult books there too.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of a take one, leave one, like you take one home to read and then,
You bring one, yeah.
yeah, you bring it
Okay.
home back and you
Exchange
lend that
sort
one.
of thing. And it's nice to have someone there to make sure that nothing's getting in there that shouldn't be in there.
Right.
So,
Totally.
and that's the thing that I was concerned about.
Right.
Yeah, it is a really nice thing. There's another one on the other end of Wilbur Park, behind the Park of the Queen's houses.
Oh, okay.
Right at the tennis courts.
Oh,
It's just
that's
really-
right, there is, I
Yeah,
have
my
noticed that.
kids love it. Almost every day during the summer, we cruise by it.
And see,
Check it out.
is it mainly for kids, or do you
No,
see
it's-
a variety of?
Yeah, correct.
Now, is that the owner, the person who
Yeah,
lives
yeah,
there?
it's in-
That's
Okay.
right, it's in their yard and it
Yeah.
faces,
Yes.
that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Their daughter was really manga for a while.
Oh, yeah?
And so my son would just walk out with armloads full of stuff. It's just really cool. It's just a really great idea, and I'm
That's
so
pretty
excited
awesome.
that there will be another one.
All right,
Nice.
that's, okay.
And
All right.
in a different location.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful.
Because there's a nice neighborhood, well, there's a whole neighborhood right there on the other end of the park.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a great spot.
All right, okay. Motion to approve this?
I'll move enthusiastically.
Okay,
And I will enthusiastically second.
all right.
I'm very enthusiastic about these. I've seen places, and I don't think this is necessarily something that we would do, but I've seen places that do, next to the little free library, they do like community, I think they call them, yeah, like a community cupboard, and there's non-perishables, and people put extra produce, and they put,
Yeah.
so that might be something later on, as we talk about the garden.
Yeah. That's a fun, yeah.
And so that people can just take
Yeah.
a jar of peanut butter or a box of pasta or something.
I think that's nice. I'm not sure if that's something we want to put in the park, though. I mean.
Oh, no, not in the park,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's what I'm saying, like, I've seen other places
Oh, yeah, yeah,
that do those, I
Yeah.
know the park isn't, I don't think the place for
Oh,
it.
yeah, Libby, that's a good idea, maybe, as a suggestion to the community garden, might be a
Oh,
spot,
yeah,
that
yeah.
might.
like if you have excess stuff, they
Yes.
can put it in there.
Do they do that now, or, I've never noticed that.
They make donations to the Lord's Table and
Okay.
things like that, but I don't know if they do that or not.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that would just be a little shed, And it could be one of those things where it's, you know, locked at night or, you know, so that we can keep a little bit of an eye on it, but, you know, you wanna make sure that that's accessible to people and, so that's, I mean, that's a later conversation, but I've started seeing in other cities, next to their little free library, they'll have
Mhm.
that, which I thought was a nice addition, but I agree, maybe not in the park.
Yeah.
All right, any opposition to this? All in favor? Aye, okay, all right.
So everybody votes in favor?
Everybody
Yes.
else in favor, yes.
Okay. I'll keep you posted if, when they're ready to open that. It obviously it won't be till spring or summer. So, I have to decide if this is an application thing or since it's gonna be there every year, so I have to work that out at my end. I'll let you know when we do that.
Okay. Well, speaking of community room.
Beth, is this oh, no, it's this a different?
This is a supplemental, yeah, no, this is Lou's
You want,
supplemental.
that's gonna be with new business, so.
Yeah, so,
That's a late application I have, so. Do you wanna go on with old business here, Beth, or?
yeah, let's go ahead and,
Okay, remember from last month, the community gardeners had come and we were gonna, the steering committee had some ideas. Chris and John from Public Works, asked if the steering committee what they would recommend if we expanded the gardens at the current site in Stuart Wilcox. The steering committee very efficiently came forward with a plan that they would recommend. I submitted it to Chris and John for their review. And they, according to what they were provided by the steering committee, they came up with a cost of what it would be to add what they wanted with fencing and everything. The cost is $6,448. I'm not sure it's something we can do, but it's something we have and we'll consider, and I'll let you know how we move forward with that. A lot of that cost is fencing.
Can I ask a procedural question? If the committee were to approve that, wouldn't that be something that would go to council to approve the expenditure? And then we could either do it or not?
Anything that this group recommends, I think goes to council through you automatically, doesn't it? Usually?
Yeah,
Don't you report
so,
on it? I don't know,
yeah, so I guess my question is what follow, if you have a cost for it and it's something that the steering committee wants to do, then if this group approves of it,
well, it's something we
Would that
didn't
be the
budget
process?
for. It's something we did not budget for, Katie.
yeah, right, totally.
So, I don't know where it goes from this. We're gonna see what kind of money we have as we start to lay out budget things, and maybe it would come out of other funds. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right,
Other
yeah.
temporary funds.
Greg, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, typically we don't bring up proposed unbudgeted expenses during the year unless they become like a necessity for some reason. So something like this would be typically something that's discussed as part of the budget process. Obviously, if the council wanted to discuss it and consider that, we could, after you do your report to council, I think it would probably kick back to maybe a planning committee,
Yeah,
maybe eventually a finance committee.
gotcha, okay,
To figure out if it's something we want to do now or plan for later.
okay, cool, thanks.
Sure.
Thanks, Greg. Moving on to the Laurel Park survey, I want to thank all the commission for their hard work on this project, which we are scheduling to launch tomorrow. We appreciate the leadership that Beth and Carolyn provided to see this project through. I want to especially thank Carrie, who has really spearheaded the publicity and organization of the I Love the Parks t-shirt giveaway and did a lot of help with getting the survey up and going. I'd like to ask Carrie if she would just talk a little bit about how this is going to work, if you would, Carrie.
So you should have all at this point received a link to the survey. It is live. It's up on a platform that the city uses called Paperform, which is allowing us to customize the process from start to finish. As we said, it will go live tomorrow. For the first 5 weeks, we have the opportunity to right off the bat do 5 t-shirts a week. So the survey is completely anonymous if someone chooses to do so. They do have the opportunity on the last page of the survey, however, to provide us with an email address. If they provide us with an email address, they'll be entered into a spreadsheet. There will be a random number generator used, and they will be eligible to win the shirt. We will reach out to them. They'll be coming into City Hall to pick them up. And we do have the ability to break it out depending on the responses, depending on the engagement, another 2 weeks, I believe it was, Lou? We have another. So,
We have the t-shirts to go another couple of weeks if we deem necessary.
Yay.
And then put up the shirt.
Great.
Don't feel like
I'm so excited to see people wearing it.
Can you refresh, who did the design again?
The company that we worked with,
Right,
right?
for imprint.
For imprint.
For imprint.
Nice.
They're really great.
They're really fun. We haven't done very much.
Unfortunately, when Lou picked the colors, on the computer, the two grays look pretty different. They are really close. It's hard to distinguish. The mediums are like a navy gray, and then these are like a charcoal gray. Katie had asked about gray, and I think it was a good choice.
Thanks.
Great. It's actually a pretty neutral color that everybody.
Yeah.
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 No, I love it. I just want one.
I know.
Can I buy
They're,
one? Yeah.
I think, they're gonna ask everybody that comes in, anybody that comes in to pick up a shirt, if we can release their name and say, and the winners this week were, as long as they're willing to allow that, I think it's great. I think it's great publicity.
And it's great when people see that people are actually winning the product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they can say, hello, my neighbor won one, maybe I wanna get in on this, so.
Make sure you selfie and tag Parks and Recs.
I was just checking, I haven't seen the survey link.
I only sent it to Lou and Carolyn first, so
Okay.
I was gonna send it out tonight after the meeting.
Okay, I just
So
wanna
we
make
also
sure.
have, as a separate document, you have a copy of the press release
Yeah.
that is going out tomorrow. The bit.ly link is at the bottom, which will get you to the survey.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because my worry is that it might go to people's spam and things like that,
Yeah.
so.
No, I think, so we should share it however we want,
Yep,
social
it's gonna
media.
launch on the city's Parks and Recreation page.
Mhm.
I'll then share it to the city's main page,
And then we can share that.
share it to your rest of town.
Okay.
Yeah, I was telling Ian about it, I was telling him about the t-shirts, he's like, well, I want one.
I know. We all want them. Maybe we could use them as a fundraiser for the parks. Sell t-shirts.
Oh, yeah. I think I wanna stay out of that one, so.
Sure.
You wanna go into new business now? I'm not sure that you all remember that, when we were talking about the dog park and everything, I mentioned that I was interested in service dog memorial at the dog park in Neola. I was really fortunate that, Carrie got me, connected me with the Public Arts Commission. I did a presentation for them last Wednesday night, I believe it was. Katie's also on that group. I'm not gonna do the whole presentation that I did for them because I think that's a lot for you guys to have to live through again, especially Katie, she's already heard it one time. But my vision is to have a memorial with 3 dogs in bronze, if that's possible. It's probably gonna be expensive. We'll work that out later, but I'd like a Dalmatian. Obviously, that's a typical firehouse dog. I'd like a German Shepherd. That's a typical police service kind of dog. They're used for a lot of guiding the blind. They're used for a lot of different areas. And a Labrador, because a Labrador is the typical all-American service therapy kind of dog that's used for many, many things. Also, a Labrador was the only dog killed in the 9/11 attacks. I would like the memorial to be dedicated to the 2 fire department dogs that are now in Wilbur Park, Smokey and, it'll come to me, I have it somewhere. And, but Smokey was a Dalmatian. The other dog is an unknown breed, probably a mixed breed. And then, also dedicated to the 300-plus dogs that served in 9/11 in some kind of capacity. The wonderful thing about those dogs, obviously there's lots of wonderful things, but they were service dogs that became therapy dogs in the end. They provided so much compassion and joy to the people who were unfortunately not finding anyone alive. And it was tough for the dogs, but they helped the people who were continuously working there every day. Wonderful thing. I have a book on the dogs of 9/11, and one of the things the author writes is there's no machine, no computer, nothing else that can replace the spirit of a dog and how they help human beings. So anyway.
That would be a lovely quote to have, like, on the.
Yeah, it's just a remarkable, the thing that I really like about it, it's honoring dogs, it's honoring special dogs, it's a credit to the people who train them and work with them, and it's also just bringing art into the park. I mean, that's something we've talked about and we want to do, and I think this is one way to do that.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the only way, but it's one way to do that, so I'm kind of excited about it. I have met with the Fire Department Chief, Brian Knapp, and Chris, the Police Chief, and they are very supportive of this project, even though the Fire Department has the 2 fire dogs. The Police Department does not have dogs, but he's given me 4 handlers that live in the city that have already reached out to me, and we've talked a little bit about how they would support this kind of a project, and I think that that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, the sheriffs have the K-9s.
Well, yeah, 2 of the people I have are from the Otsego County Sheriff's Department, one is from the Delaware County Sheriff's Department.
Okay,
And one is a state trooper.
okay, so,
So
yeah, I was gonna
we've got all
say,
the bases covered, I think.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
now, my other question, and I hate to be morbid, I hate to be this person, are the dogs, the Dalmatians, are they interred at,
I'm sorry?
are they buried in Wilbur Park?
I would guess they're buried, there's tombstones there. I don't know if their remains were buried there or what, but they were memorialized there.
Yes. So are we moving anything, I guess is my,
I think we wait to see when we get, my opinion is we wait to see when we get our service dog memorial, and then see if the fire department wants us to move them.
Okay,
I
and
think
then-
it's their memorial.
yeah, and then going forward, how do we do anything with that? Is it scattering of ashes?
The rest of my vision is, besides the statue, is to have a wall, like a service wall, a fame, or whatever you want to call it, and see if county wants to bury their dogs there, or memorialize their dogs there, probably not bury them, but memorialize their dogs there. Hopefully have a place where we can put up little plaques, maybe with a small picture of the dog and their service. Have an application process, sort of like what we do for our park benches, where it comes to the commission, you approve them putting in this kind of language on, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe have a picture of the dog there, I think it'd be really nice,
Yeah.
and have those pictured at that memorial. And I don't think, one question that I received from Greg is, would this just be police dogs, or military dogs, or those kinds of service? I think it could be any kind of dog that gives service. Greg sent me an article, very touching article on a man that was visually impaired in the city. He had a, what did he have? What kind of dog was it, Greg?
Can't remember.
Oh, a golden retriever. And very, very sweet dog, and had it for about 10 years. Rode the buses all the time
Yes.
here. And the dog got sick, had a heart condition, and had to be put down. And Greg was like, is this a dog? Absolutely, that's a dog that could be
I
memorialized there.
remember that dog.
Yeah, that's a service dog, And I think we have a lot of people that need therapy dogs for lots of things. And unfortunately, we have to develop some kind of plan on how we take those kinds of dogs, and do we take those kind of dogs, and I think probably we should. And that would be something we can develop as we move forward. Therapy dogs are not afforded all of the same freedom that service dogs are. You know, but we're getting more and more, so therapy dogs are accepted in all kinds of situations. So I think it should be an inclusive memorial. I don't think it should just be, you know, police, fire, and military dogs.
It would be nice, you know, as we get this together, you know, we could involve like the Hartwick students, because they do the guiding eyes for the blind, you know, have them as part of any sort of ceremony, because they train those guide dogs.
Yeah, I think we can involve them, sure. Yeah.
Just in any kind of dedication. I think that's the coolest program, you just see kids just walking around with dogs.
Yeah.
It must be so fun.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they train them for a year and then part with them. I just couldn't. I don't know how they do it. I mean, kudos to them. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll keep you posted as we move
Oh, I
forward.
have
with that.
one more question on that.
Oh, sure.
Will it be open to all artists to put in bids for the sculpture?
We haven't gotten that far. We haven't gotten that
Okay.
far. I'm going to talk with Jim a little bit more in the future from the Art Commission. He's
Gotcha,
the
okay.
chair of the commission.
Okay, that's great.
I hope that we can get a local artist to do the rendition so that we know, so that we have an idea of what it might look like.
Right, yeah,
That would be the first step, I think.
okay.
Now we get to that supplemental piece that I seem to have misplaced there. All my pages. Friday afternoon, I received an email from Anna Ruttenbeck. She's a project coordinator with OCCA. She had called me a while ago, and I had mentioned that part of the process to having something in the park would be to let me know, email me the particulars, and I would bring it to the commission. And I had mentioned that the commission was meeting on the 14th, and so she sent it to me Friday afternoon, very late. So that's the reason why it's not included in the parks report. But basically, it's the Susquehanna Headwaters Environmental Collaborative, and that they always refer to that as SHEC. I told her I didn't know what that meant, and I didn't. It's apparently a new group that they just made. They've combined those three organizations that are there. I did the mission statement from their website for this group. It sounds amazing. It sounds like something we would want in the park. Also put the mission statement of the OCAA and the Delaware Otsego Audubon Society on there for you, just for your information. The event that they want to have is, they're asking for Saturday, July 9th. I looked at the calendar from 2021, 2020, and 2019 to see if there were any other big events using that date, because we are not at reserve user for summer dates yet, the application date. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to give away any dates that someone else needed. There was nothing the second weekend in July. I think after the 4th of July, it's kind of a, so it's, right now it's available. You can see from this, they are planning a big event. A huge event, that, you know, might be a replacement for the pit run. You know, we're just going to go back to that, the 4th of July, and then this. I'm excited about all the things they want to do here.
You had me at crab boil.
I'm sorry?
I said you had me at crab boil.
Yeah, yeah. I think that Anna is, I mean, she just started the planning. I think she's going to need a lot of help making this happen, but it sounds like she has some very good organizations working together here. So, and I know that Carrie and I will work with her. I recommended to her the large pavilion. I recommended the bandstand stage. She didn't know about any of those things. So I think there'll be a lot of planning in this. And, but what I need now is for you all to decide if you have any questions to ask. Do you want to have any more time to review this? Do you want to wait on this, or can you feel like you can move forward with a motion and a vote tonight?
This is right after our 4th of July.
It's a next
Your
week,
event.
yeah.
5 days later.
Well, how did the parks crew think
Yeah.
about this? Do you think they'll be all right with it?
Well, I will tell you, the 4th of July is a lot of work, but the first night Oneana does a phenomenal job in coordinating all that. I think a lot of it is how well the organizations can coordinate, and first night Oneana does a great job.
Yeah, they're well seasoned.
I think this is the kind of event we want in the parks. We want
Yeah.
people in the parks doing different things, and this is pretty different from the 4th of July.
It looks like way fun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, 4th of July is always a hoot too, but this looks.
And this was the date, they didn't want to do a later July or August reading.
This is the date they asked for.
They had, okay.
So, I didn't recommend another date because it was free and that's what they asked for.
And this is what was most available on
It was
the
available
calendar.
from now on.
So the Outlaws aren't in town, or,
I didn't hear that.
so the Outlaw, it doesn't conflict with the Outlaws or anything like that?
I don't have the outlaw schedule yet, but, you know, it's two separate places.
Yeah.
We have two activities going on in the parking lot.
I'm thinking more about parking.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, I haven't checked with Gary. I think the first step is for you guys to approve and then I can check with him. Yeah?
Mm.
I mean, you
All right.
know, if you approve.
Move to approve this. Anyone second?
I'll second the motion.
Anybody opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passed.
Okay, I'll get ahold of Gary first thing tomorrow. I need to get a schedule anyway.
Just as a side note, going back to one of our previous meetings, would this be an event that our fire chief, Brian, was talking about with the number of people as far as having an emergency plan?
Yeah, Brian wants to work on an emergency plan for now. We don't really,
So we
haven't had one for a while, I guess. It's kind of outdated, is that correct?
Yeah, but I think to your
Would this
point,
be the type of event that he was thinking about,
Yeah?
as well as the 4th of July? Because
Yeah.
I would assume, I would think, you have quite a number of people coming to an event such as this.
Especially too, if there's a baseball game
Yeah.
concurrently.
And Friday brought up a good point about,
Well, I mean, because it could work great, I mean, if they're
Yeah.
both happening at the same time.
and then again too, if Cooperstown baseball world, are they coming back?
Yeah, they're coming back.
They are coming back, so,
3 weeks, they're requesting. They have their application in.
and they usually use the baseball field. or
Baseball field,
Cosmopolitan
yes.
Field. So there could be quite a bit
They'll
of
use
activity.
it, they'll use it 2 weeks, have a break week, and they'll use it a third week.
Are they here, do you know, during this time period, or do they start a little bit later? They seem to have different start dates every summer.
I'll have to
That's
look
okay.
here when I
Yeah,
can't
I'm just
remember off the top
curious.
of my head, but
I mean, granted, we do want to bring
Yeah.
people down to the parks and having a number of different activities going on at the same time.
the only thing that we ever shut down the park for, shut it down for everything else, was the pit run. So it was frequent that there were different, I mean, at one time, we had the Pride Fest on the same day, we had the, Duck Derby, both taking place at basically the same time,
Yes.
in just different areas of the park. And it worked quite well, because people would come from one to the other.
Yeah, right, that's,
Backboard
yeah.
out.
It's a little bit more difficult with the soccer in the fall, because that's a lot of people in the park. So I try to schedule either people later after they're done.
Makes sense.
The only other thing that I have, Beth, I think, is,
Meeting
our meeting dates.
Meeting dates, yeah.
Yeah, so I just listed them on there so you can see them. I will tell you the July date, we really don't have a choice if you want Carrie and I to be there. We can't do Thursday the 14th of July because we are involved in the concerts.
All right, yes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna throw this out there, you guys can do what you want, it's up to you all. I think we should stick to Mondays.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard when you say, okay, this month we're Monday, next month we're Thursday. If we have a choice, I'd like to stick to Mondays.
Yeah, me
I'm,
too.
I'm okay with March 14th.
Are we okay with March 14th?
I can't be here, but that doesn't mean you guys can't.
You can't do
Just
March
heads up.
14th?
Nope.
Can you do the 21st?
Well, I have a finance meeting at 6, so if that's short, then yes.
Finance meetings aren't usually that short, are they?
Nope.
So
Yeah, I mean,
we need to
that's
do
okay.
Thursday that month is what you're saying?
Thursday is the 17th, yeah, that would be fine.
So you won't have finance on March 21st?
I won't?
You won't. You'll have finance on March 28th, because that's a 5-week.
Okay, then that's cool.
So
As
we're
long
gonna
as
do-
Carrie lets me know when I need to be somewhere.
we're gonna be the 21st then? or we're
21st
gonna
is
do
great.
something-
Let's do it.
Monday the
21st.
21st. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's like, I get back from, I have to.
Can we do that 18th in July,
Sure.
Monday the 18th?
I feel like yes, let me just check.
Carrie and I can't do the
Okay,
14th.
That is, the dates that we presented are to keep it conflict-free from finance and other Monday committee meetings, so.
Oh, gotcha, okay, that's 11th and 25th. All right, my calendar's all wonky.
Yeah.
September,
then
can we do
yes.
the 19th?
That works.
So we're doing July 18th then? Yep.
July 18th.
July 18th,
Okay.
September 19th,
Okay.
yes.
Because that also gives us the,
September 19th is a yes
Mhm.
for everybody?
Yes.
And I think November is the last one. Can we do the 11th? I'm sorry, the 14th of November?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of consistent.
yeah, it is.
So we're good with all those?
Yes.
Are you okay with those, Brett?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks pretty clear on my schedule.
Okay. I do have just a couple of little announcements. The concert series is all scheduled. It will go from June 30th till August 18th. 8 performances. I'm just waiting for contracts to come back. When the contracts come back, I will give you guys the schedule. Carrie has already posted the schedule because she's just 40 steps ahead of me.
What were those dates again
For
for the concert series? Just the
the-
one?
June 30th through August 18th.
Thanks.
Thursdays at 7.
Thursdays at 7. That leaves us 2 possible, the last Thursday in August and the first Thursday in September as possible dates that we could move if we get a severe storm or something. After that, we're not gonna go any later. We tried that last year and it got too dark and too cold. So, hopefully we only use those dates or maybe not use any dates, would be nice. Okay? Just for information, I'll give you more in the future. I do have 2 organizations that have approached me, heart rate college students and AAA, to do some park cleanup in and around Earth Day, which is April 22nd. When we will put our heads together and get a project. The first one that comes to mind, of course, is Veterans Walkway, which always needs to be spruced up in preparation for Memorial Day. And Applewell Gardens is another potential one. The dog park is another potential one. So if we've got volunteers, we will try our best to utilize them. But I'll keep you posted on that.
And that was Hartwood College and
Hartwood College students and AAA. for me. Hallelujah, huh?
No, that's fantastic.
Actually, Luke, can I ask a question about the concerts? I know I had brought to you last year, the idea of having some concerts geared for children, and I connected with Katrina from DO on that, and I just wondered if you guys had collaborated at all on that, or made any progress.
We haven't, but I'm glad you brought it up, because I completely, Katrina and I talked about a lot of things, but you did mention that. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it slipped my mind, Katie.
It's all good.
But I'll call Katrina, and we'll see if we can,
Cool. I had connected her with like talent company. They like represent kids' talent. And so I know I gave her that resource. I don't know, and since then I haven't followed up with her at all either, but you mentioned the concert series, and I went, oh yeah. So I can also just, but I appreciate you taking that back up. I think that'd be really cool.
Pre-COVID, Katrina and I were working on a movie night for
Yeah,
families in the
right.
park.
That's awesome.
And, we'll talk about that too, because I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
To have a screen and a movie, and, but you're talking specifically about a music event.
Yep.
Let me talk to Katrina and I'll get back to you next meeting.
Cool. Thank you.
So, and I just wanted to reiterate in the email that this is what Carrie had sent. Okay, so that's, right, Carrie, this, and so this we copy and share, right?
You can copy and share, I can send you one that doesn't have staple holes in it.
Oh. Well, I meant the actual link in the email.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so. All right.
And you all saw the press release that we did. Okay.
Is that?
Carolyn helped us with that too.
That's in,
That's the,
yeah, and it has the QR code too. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so. And if you guys have any questions on how to do stuff like that, I guess Carrie, we'll hit up Carrie, but you can hit me up first so we don't all bombard her at once. So, okay. Yeah, we'll figure this out, but I'm really excited about it. Okay, any other business, anything?
I just want to talk about two things. So the thing that I had mentioned over email, so Bernadette Winters-Bell is a grief therapist in town. Her office is over on Beat Street. And she has been inspired to, she'd like to do it in a city park. She has been inspired by this thing, it's actually really similar to a little free library. So it's funny that we brought that up. But basically, she would like to install, and she'd like to do it in a city park. It's called a telephone of the wind. And it's just a phone that is hooked up to nothing, where people can go and talk to their dead loved ones. It's usually in a quiet, kind of, secluded area. Wooded is great. So that's also something that when she brought that up to me, I thought Woolward Park would be great for.
Did you send me that? It seems to me like I saw that online or something. Somebody was doing that in Oregon or something?
Yeah,
There was a video. You told me something about it.
Yeah.
So there's the original one is in Japan.
Yeah.
There's one in Oregon. There's actually someone downstate, a grief therapist out of New York City, had one worked with the state parks department and had one installed in Appalachian State Park. So that's pretty cool. The state parks department is down with that. But yeah, so she sort of in the and this you don't have to take any action on this today, unless you're like really excited about it. But because she's in the process of figuring out, like, similar to the Little Free Library, like, what is the process for installing something on city property? She would like to maintain it. How do you go about that, right? It's kind of a new thing. So, yeah, that's kind of it, I guess. FYI. I don't know, Lou, do you have any thoughts on that? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I think Wilbur Park would be a perfect place, especially in a more secluded wooded area.
Like
You
just
know,
off,
that's-
like where the walking trails are maybe, or?
Yeah,
Maybe off one of those trails, like near where Fairyland is, maybe not right there. A secluded place is nice. People aren't gonna wanna talk on a phone where people can listen to them. You
so
know,
one of the things that I thought of was accessibility, and I'd like to recommend, the spot where, so you know where, is it the Kiwanis Pavilion that's down by the pool? And then there's that little area, where it's flat. And I think there are a couple benches in there. But between that sort of loop of Neowa and the S-curve of the high school,
That's what I was thinking too.
because like off to the side there, it's really like serene. Usually there isn't a lot of like foot traffic through there. And you could, in the creek, and you could just park, not very far from that. I'm just thinking about, accessibility, that would be a little bit easier than having to do it like up and in. I mean, because
Yeah.
I love like up and in, but I'm, an able-bodied person. So that's all. That's kind of what I was thinking.
No, I could see that. It would be much more accessible. I could see that. You're right.
Thanks.
And is it a booth or is it like mounted like on a tree? Like what is, has she
Yeah.
shared sort of
Yeah.
exactly what she's thinking?
No, and you know
Okay.
what's great about that is that I first also brought this to the Public Arts Commission, and Ian asked the same thing. He was like, how do you know how it's gonna look? And like, you can get a phone booth online. Anyway,
Kind of surprised he hasn't bought one already. Like, I thought it down at the video side. It's a phone booth.
so I haven't gotten any like design elements, but I think that she wants to keep it pretty simple. The one that's in
Japan is a phone booth.
Japan's
Oregon is a phone on a tree.
yeah.
Okay. And I wasn't sure it would be
I like
enclosed,
that
even
idea.
like just like 3 sides, like lean-to
Oh, I know
sides.
what you mean. Yeah. Well, yeah, and maybe it should be because of the
Maybe a little
elements.
privacy if you
Yeah.
have some kind of enclosure, but
It doesn't have to be like a pole with a,
that I would be worried about getting vandalized, that would.
yeah.
But,
But if
who
it's like
knows?
a phone on a tree and then has even just like a little boop
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
top, just so that like snow doesn't, and it doesn't get all gross in the
like a
winter.
little hood or something.
Little hood,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll pass all that along, to her. I haven't, she hasn't talked to me about the design of it at all. Mostly, I think she's in the process of just trying to figure out how.
Katie, what's
can
the name
facilitate
again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very long. It's Bernadette
Okay.
Winters Bell.
Winter's Bell.
Yeah, and I can forward you her contact info if you want to chat with her about it.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys think that kind of fits with the vibe and is a generally good idea. I'll let her know that was
Katie,
well
has she
received.
like walked through the park just to get a feel for where she thinks it this might?
I don't think so. I think,
Work well?
yeah, no, I don't think she has. I think it was more just that, we talked a little bit about accessibility and seclusion, and that was kind of it. And so I just sort of made that recommendation. Yeah, but if you guys have any other thoughts for places where it could be, we could propose to her different,
I think it would just be a good idea for her to maybe just walk through the park to see what areas she would think would be best suited. I was even thinking there's a stone bench when you walk over the creek, and you're going up to the upper level from the S-curve. And it sits right along, and you can go down into the,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I am?
It's kind of on a pitch.
It is a little bit, yeah, I have to say it is, but
It's
that's,
a beautiful spot.
but isn't that, it's so,
It is.
I love those.
Another place
it's
that
secluded in trees,
Another
and just
place
a
that-
thought.
Another place that comes to mind, when the Greenway Committee paves the area that they're talking about, extending in Catella Park, they're talking about, that might be a good spot, because it's quiet, it's got trees, it would be then accessible, there is parking right there, it's just another idea, another idea.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I would like to give her.
It might not be done this year, that would be the thing that she's thinking about right away, so
Yeah, I think
that's-
she's trying.
I don't know when they're going to be doing that, so.
Okay, true.
But-
Yeah, right.
But, I think what you mentioned is a good idea,
Okay,
a good spot.
thanks.
So,
Cool.
let
I'll
her
share
walk
that with
through and see if she comes up with something better or different.
Yeah, cool.
Is this something we should approve now or later?
Should we wait until we get
I don't know,
more?
What do you think? It, basically, yeah, she doesn't, like, to Libby's point, she doesn't have like a design for it necessarily,
I
but
think we should.
yeah, like, I feel like the Little Free Library was maybe a little more fleshed out, but
Yeah.
I can tell her that there's generally support for it and to give
Support,
us
and
more
then maybe next
support.
month we can talk about approving it. And then maybe I'll have more information about how we're gonna do it exactly.
Cool.
You know, just gonna work it out for the Little Free Library
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Oh, yay, thanks, everybody. Great.
no, I think it's a good idea, Judy.
Cool. Oh, and then I just wanted to follow up, Lou.
No, you've used your time.
I know, I'm sorry. I'll keep it at 3
No,
minutes
no,
before it's 8
no,
o'clock.
I'm kidding.
I just wondered, because we had met, and Greg was there too, with the people who do the splash park stuff.
Water Odyssey.
Okay, yeah. I didn't get their company names.
That's okay.
Nice guys, sure. So they were gonna follow up with you. I just wondered if they had done that, and set any.
Yeah, I've been in touch with them. I've been waiting to kind of share what they've sent to me because I had some questions. We're kind of going back and forth.
Sure.
I thought we might follow up with some of the, they mentioned they had some other installations in upstate New York. I had some questions
Okay.
that I wanted to ask them, and they gave us a cost estimate, but it needs to kind of be massaged and worked out, so I don't really
Sure.
have anything to specifically share tonight, but
That's fair. I
but
just.
they have been in touch with us, so.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah,
didn't just, dead end. So, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
sure.
All right. That's it. See, that was so quick. It's not even.
Okay, any other business, anybody? No? Okay, any wait, motion to move to end the meeting at 7:59?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right. Adjourn at 7:59, all right, thanks,
Okay.
Hank. Happy Valentine's
Nice to
Day.
meet you.
All right.
Thanks for the conversation.